Hi, this is Michael David from A Skyrim Addict podcast, and you're listening to Knightcast.
Listening to the Knightcast. Today is Monday, November 11th, and the Dark Legend is not with me today. I'm your host, Hesser, by the way. Dark Legend has some real life stuff to do. He was at the SEMA Auto Show in Las Vegas, but I have a special guest host with me. It being Monday, November 11th. Today is the 2-year anniversary of Skyrim. And joining me today, I've got from the A Skyrim Addict podcast Facebook page, the robot himself, the Android. Android, how you doing, buddy?
I'm very well. How are you, Hesser?
It's been a wild week, and it was crunch time right before the podcast, trying to find somebody without Legend being available, but I'm glad you could be here with me today.
Tough luck, everyone bailing out on you.
I know it. All my IRL friends were too busy or had something to do or were just being general pains in the ass. So I'm glad you could be with me today.
Anything I could do to help?
It's your first time on the show. Do you play?
I apologize to say I've never heard the show. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. But you are a console player, correct?
Yes, the PlayStation 3 currently.
Boo.
That's what I hear.
Now, Legend is he's the PlayStation guy for the show. So
I get it. You have a rivalry between the two. Exactly.
But so you get to sit in his seat today.
That sounds great. So I've never actually had the argument. What are the? I'm sorry if you've gone over this time and time again, but what are the good arguments for and against each of the Xbox and the PlayStation?
Oh, on the last podcast, it was our console wars edition, and we were talking about the two new consoles. I just about had him converted and ready to join the dark side and get an Xbox One. We talked about how there's been a lot of videos online where Microsoft is putting out videos of the dashboard for the Xbox One and what you'll actually see on your TV. And I've seen nothing from Sony as far as what their actual console on screen is going to look like. And he got to rooting around, and there was some stuff from the launch or the announcement, of the PS4. They showed some stuff, but that's all I've seen, and that's all he had seen for it. And we're talking about how to be so brazen at first and rattling Microsoft's cage, now they're getting kind of quiet on what they want to show from the console. And then do you think
they're nervous that they have a subpar product?
From what I've seen, internal wise, they're almost identical. But what they do with those internals are almost completely different. It seems like Sony has spent a lot more time using the internals they have to run games at 60 frames a second, 1080p, where Microsoft is having to divvy up some of that CPU power and video card power for the split screen stuff, the TV, Skype integration. It seems like it's a bigger package with the Xbox One, but
are they trying to do too much?
I don't know. They're making an interesting machine. I want to check one out. Microsoft seems to be focused on making an all-in-one entertainment center, basically. And PlayStation seems to be going for just a hardcore video game console. So I guess depending on what you want in your living room, you've got two choices either way. And I said, I told him last week, I wish PlayStation the best. I wouldn't be happier if Xbox outsold the PlayStation 4, but at least when they're competing with each other, it's better for me and you in the long run. So
yeah, and competition breeds creativity.
Exactly.
As long as they're competing with each other, they'll both create better products. So,
Now, Android, have you played anything this week?
I've played lots of Skyrim.
Fantastic. We will be getting to that with it being Skyrim week in just a minute. Is that all you've played this week?
Pretty much. I've played a little bit of Gauntlet on my iPhone 5.
That's so cool.
I downloaded I was like, man, there's no Skyrim for my iPhone. I guess this. What's the closest thing I can get to Skyrim? Oh man, that game Gauntlet was really fun. It had wizards and warriors in it. Yeah, no, but it's actually been really fun, and it's a lot harder than I remember. And then it reminds me how freaking hard old school games used to be. There was no such thing as save wherever you are. There was no such thing as endless continues.
Yeah.
You die, you're done. You gotta start over at level 1. That stinks.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie games coming out now. They're bringing back the perma death feature, where once you're dead, that's it.
Yeah. No, I've seen that coming back in a few games. Nothing that I've actually played. I've actually played some of the Batman games. I enjoy those as well. And those are as well. If you die, you can pretty much respawn anywhere and just continue on.
I played a couple different games for the 360 this week.
What have you played?
I played I checked out a couple demos this week of some new games, and I didn't put an official review up on the site just because they were demo games and I couldn't play through the entire thing. But I checked a game out called the first one I played was Grid 2. Have you heard of it?
I have not. I don't have a lot of experience with racing games besides Mario Kart. I'll be honest with you.
Well, this is one of the. It looks good. It looks okay. It's real cars. They're all licensed, branded, real vehicles you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike a couple of other games I've played that'll actually use real cars, they take real damage, and it shows it on screen. You're knocking hoods off, crushing fenders, busting taillights, headlights, and the performance of the vehicle will be affected. Crashing into walls, running into other cars. You can tell your car will pull to one side. The vibration feature will kick in on the controller. So
try to make it as realistic as possible.
Oh yeah, and it says the tracks.
Great.
It says the tracks are real locations. One was the track in California. Didn't write the name of it down.
I pulled up some screenshots. It does look pretty amazing.
A mode called flashback mode. If you were to crash, you're getting ready to crash, press Y on the Xbox remote, and it'll take and rewind time back. I'm not sure how far you can go back, but you can bring yourself back.
If you take a turn too wide or something.
Exactly. If you're going to hit the wall or hit another car, you can bring yourself back to before the turn and try it again. So I played I raced it was a Shelby Mustang, like a 68 Shelby Mustang on one track, and there was a Nissan, Skyline on the other track.
Oh, very nice.
Skyline handled a lot better being all-wheel drive. Mustang was, if you went into a turn, were easy on the gas, it wasn't a problem. If you went in too hard, the rear end broke loose, just like a rear-wheel drive car. So it's a cool game. It was worth checking out the demo at least.
What do you look for in a driving or racing game? What are some of the best aspects that have to be there for a racing game to be a great play for you?
The best simulation driving game I ever played is when I had a PlayStation 2 and I was playing Gran Turismo.
PlayStation 2, wow.
Yeah, and I loved Gran Turismo on the I think it was Gran Turismo 3, I think. But I loved Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. But as far as just mayhem and craziness, Burnout Paradise.
Burnout, wow. I haven't played a Burnout game in a very long time.
Oh yeah, just the more you can. It seems like on those games, the more you can just destroy, the better. So
yeah,
and that was just on different ends, on different sides of the coin. Those were the top two that I like the most. There's the Forza games for 360. I never really got into. I mean, I will eventually. I've just never picked one up. From what I've seen of those look really cool.
Great.
So out of racing and into football season, I picked up the demo of NCAA Football 2014. The game's been out for a little while. The demo was up. I want to check it out. I used to play NCAA games all the time, but from what I understand, this will be the last game NCAA actually branded through EA. There was a controversy with the college players not making any money from using their likeness and numbers. So from what I understand, EA has dropped the NCAA collegiate licensing. So this will be the last NCAA football game of, officially licensed game from them.
Yeah, the college football world is about to get into a whole sticky wicket with the whole college players not earning money situation. Something, I'm not sure what, but something is going to happen with that whole situation. It has to,
Right.
because there's so much money swirling around that, especially, they have the right, especially when video games are being made in their likenesses and stuff.
And, this was the first game. I haven't played an NCAA football game in a while, and this is the first one I've played. It may have been like this last year. I don't know. This is the first one I've picked up in a couple years, but it actually showed the player names on the back of the uniforms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was, the official team roster for the year. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So, that's brazen. Using there's no hiding around that yes, you are using their specific likeness. Here's their name. There's proof right there. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wonder if they still stick true to college teams like Penn State who don't put the names on the back of the jersey.
I don't know.
They probably don't. They put them on anyway.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
That's who you're gonna be.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll tell you who you are.
They had since the last time I played one, NCAA 2009, 8 or 9 was the last one I played.
You played way more recently than mine. I'm not even sure it was an NCAA branded one, but for the Sega Genesis, I played the College Football's National Championship.
Awesome.
That was one of my favorite games. I loved that game so much. I used the San Diego State Aztecs because that's when I believe Marshall Faulk was in college. It was that long ago.
From the last time I've played, they've added some new moves that you can do on the field. Before it was, last time I played, you could juke left, juke right, stiff arm, stuff like that. They've added some newer updated moves. There's a hurdling feature now to jump over somebody. The names, I had some problems with player pop-in on the game, which I had trouble with that, the last time I played it.
What does that feature mean? Explain that.
Player pop-in?
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching maybe a replay of what's going on and there's nobody there, then the player will load, all of a sudden they're there, and then they're gone again.
And they're a ghost.
It didn't affect the actual gameplay.
On the replays only.
Exactly, during the replays or the coin toss. The guy from my team out for the coin toss. He was there for the coin toss, then he was gone. Then he was back again.
Do you think that's just in the demo?
It may just be a demo. It may just be my Xbox. I'm not sure.
I've heard you have good luck with your Xbox.
Yeah, it's been a pain. It's an antique now. The demo of Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Oh, that actually looks pretty sweet.
I was really impressed with it.
Are you a comic book guy? Are you into that world?
I like comic book wise. I like Marvel comics over DC.
Mm-hmm.
Just I like the character variety a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
And after the Batman edition of Lego came out, I never played it. Thought it was cool. They finally had it, and was impressed that the Legos actually talk now. Because the last one I played before that was the Indiana Jones Lego game that came with the Xbox.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm a big fan of those Lego games. I like those. I'm excited to try the Avengers one. It looks cool.
Demo, you could play as Spider-Man. You could play as the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, and that was it for the demo.
I'd love to play as Hulk just so you could grab Loki by the ankles and whip him around.
Smash him around.
Yeah, that'd be great.
In Indiana Jones, I played it. The Legos didn't talk.
They was kind of like and like little noises and smirk at each other.
Right.
Yeah, communicate with their eyes, body language.
That feature isn't new to just this game. They've been talking, for a couple games now, but this is the first one I've played.
I think the Lord of the Rings one, maybe they talked. I played that one. I believe that they talked in that one.
I've heard
at least in the cutscenes. At least I know that. I
heard that one is really good, and it stays really true to the movies too.
It's really fun, except for I played it on the Wii, and it was super buggy near the end of the game. It's like they kind of rushed to finish it or something. And on the Wii, they don't really do like live patches for games like that.
Right.
At least. So it was, you'd be fighting a monster and he would disappear. and you'd be like, well, I guess I have to reload
I'm
because
done.
I can't go further till this monster goes away. Well, I guess he already went away, but
I like.
what other demos did you play?
Let's see. Lego was cool. It's worth checking out. I would, it's one I'll end up picking up eventually and definitely checking
Yeah,
out the rest
I
of.
will totally check that out. That looks really great. My wife and I were actually just watching the Avengers movie upstairs, and earlier in the evening we watched the Thor movie,
Oh, really?
the first one, because we're planning on going out to see the new one before too long.
Oh, cool. So I played
So,
a
getting
game.
brainwashed by Marvel.
That's just fine.
Yes.
Just fine. So I played a game that was on the Xbox Live Marketplace, the XBLA arcade store. How to Survive. It came out on PS3 as well.
That sounds like a horror survival game.
With zombies.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, more zombies.
I was thinking about that the other day. Zombies have to be by far the most popular American horror monster now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's crazy how many zombie movies. I mean, you think, well, vampires and werewolves are very popular these days, but still, there's hundreds of more movies about zombies that have been made.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, did you enjoy this demo?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Thumbs down.
It's a quest-based game. I played about 5-10 minutes of How to Survive and realized it was also a quest-based game, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to play this. The game may be fine, but just being burnt out on quest-based games, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I hit some zombies in the head with a stick. It's the first weapon you get, it's a stick.
A stick. Very nice.
Yeah, it played, like I said, 10 minutes of it. It may be a great game. It's $15. I'll never know. Looked okay.
You'll leave it for someone else to find out.
Yeah, it's for somebody else to find out. Being just the demo of it, checking it out, I wasn't impressed, with it. But that's just me. Somebody else may have a good time with it. Just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
The last one I played was a game called Blood Knights. It was also a Xbox Live Arcade release. I started playing it. The controls for it were a little bizarre, as far as instead of using A, B, X, and Y, you're using the trigger buttons on the top for your attacks, especially the top bumper buttons. And I just wasn't really used to that.
Yeah, that's like Skyrim too. Yeah.
And you're switching back and forth between two characters. It was a little confusing at first. The voice acting was it left a lot.
What style of game is it? What genre is it in?
It's a hack and slash game.
Oh, okay.
You're a vampire fighter, I guess, and you're soul bound to a vampire, so she's with you, and you switch back and forth between the two.
Huh.
The voice acting was left a lot to be desired. The controls were difficult, but it's the more I played of it, and once I got the hang of it, I actually started to kind of like it.
Oh yeah? Who put it out? Who produced it?
I'm not sure. I don't have it wrote down. It's it was also $14.99 on the Xbox Marketplace, and it's one I'd pick up, and I'd like to check out the rest of it.
Great. So you have a thumbs up for that one and the Avengers, and did you like the racing game?
Yeah, Grid 2 was all right. I'd check it out.
Great. So you got 3 pickups there.
Oh yeah. Now the game of the week this week, with it being the anniversary, is Skyrim, and that's the reason I am glad you are on the show with me today.
Well, I've been playing a lot. I can't say that I'm an expert, and I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people on the internet who will, prove that their knowledge is way better than mine. I just have a fun time playing it. I have a good time. I don't try to outdo other people online with stats or anything like that. It's just fun for me.
You're still on your first playthrough.
Yeah, I started a character. It must have been this summer sometime, and I've been playing the same character probably over 250 or 300 hours now, I would say.
Do you find yourself just purposely pausing the main storyline just to get some of the side quests done and just to explore a little bit more?
I do. Probably for a good month, I didn't even progress on the main quest at all. And I didn't even do side quests either. I would just literally randomly wander around, and then something would pop up on the radar and be like, oh, well, I'll just trot over here, check this out. Oh, look, a cave. Well, let's hop into this cave. oh my goodness, this is not just a little cave. This is a huge, vast catacomb system that starts as just a little hole in the wall, but turns into a great dwarven ruins.
And
You know,
my God, this is never gonna end. It
and
just
it'll
keeps
go
going.
on. You'd be in the same dungeon for 2 hours, and you're like, wow, this started out as just popping my head in a hole in the ground. So I mean, I did that for at least a solid month, and then I was like, okay, well maybe I'll just hop back in and do the main quest for a while. And so that the main quest entails hunting and killing dragons and finding clues as to how to take down dragons. But I have spoiled myself a little bit and looked ahead and kind of know what's going to happen. And you have to kill a dragon that's evidently a really nice dragon, and I don't want to put myself in that situation. So I have
Oh, you
again
don't.
abandoned
You don't.
the main storyline. Oh, you don't have to kill him?
No.
Okay.
Well, with the game being 2 years out, I guess we don't really have to worry about
There's no
spoilers.
spoilers.
Yeah,
Fuck people who are worried about spoilers.
if you haven't played
It's your
this game
fault if you
yet,
haven't played. It's your fault. Yes.
yeah, Parthenax, the dragon you're talking
Yes,
about.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, I haven't even met him yet because I don't want to. I don't want the confrontation. There's so much like gray moral stuff in this game, and that killing a nice person just seems like pretty black and white to me. I don't mind the gray stuff, but some stuff makes me feel a little weird in this
yeah.
game. Like there's a whole cannibal scene where you're supposed to help these cannibals. You're like, oh my gosh, this makes my stomach turn a little bit.
And see, I just finished my first playthrough and never saw any of that.
Yeah, see, that's what I get when I just, wander around randomly. You just stumble upon things, and they open up new quests that you never see, and you wouldn't have found otherwise.
Did you join the Dark Brotherhood?
Yeah, there are, I think, 4 sort of side quests that are, factions or groups that you can join. There's the Dark Brotherhood, which I just recently finished, like I think yesterday, maybe even this morning. And the companions, which are more of like barbarians and warriors. The Dark Brotherhood are assassins, and the companions are like barbarians. And then there's the Thieves Guild, which is self-explanatory. Um, I'm a member of the Thieves Guild as well, but I haven't played that one to fruition yet.
Right.
There's a lot of quests that go along with completing that one.
With the Thieves Guild, when I started it, I realized, my sneaking ability is really not cut out for this. So I did
Yeah, my
the main.
sneaking is up in the 90s now, so that I saved it until now. Now I'm going back and doing all those Thieves Guild stuff that I couldn't do earlier.
And this is one of the few games that, like the part where you have to kill, where you have the choice to kill Parthenax or not. There's a big scene where you find him and he's talking to you, and you realize maybe he's not as bad as the rest of these dragons, and then you have the option of where the blades, the people that are training you, as a dragonborn, are like, well, you have to kill Parthenax.
Yeah, Esbern, that jerk, makes you try to kill Parthenax.
Right. And I said, bullshit. I'm not killing Parthenax. He's fine. Which in the end, if you haven't finished the game, I won't ruin it for you, but
Oh, go ahead. I'm not afraid of spoilers, and I've gone on the internet and read a bunch about the game, so I've spoiled myself on most things anyway. Go right ahead.
well, after you kill Alduin at the end, if you don't kill Parthenax, you go back and you're talking to him, and basically Parthenax kind of takes over as the head dragon. He's not as malicious or gonna
Does he
be.
turn them into nice dragons then?
Well, at the end, they're all kind of circling around you, flying around. You're talking to Parthenax, and there's one that you capture at Whiterun, and he comes back and he talks to you, and he's like, "Well, if you ever need me, just shout, and
Just shout. Oh, that's funny.
if I can, I'll be there."
Just give me a shout.
Oh yeah,
For
but
people who don't know, dragon shouts are one of the main parts of the game. It's a magical shout you can do. There's many different kinds. You can push people around or make yourself invisible. And I don't know. There's just all really different kinds of weird magical tricks you do with dragon shouts. That's why that's funny. Just give me a shout.
You just give me a shout, and if I can, I'll be here.
That's funny.
But let's mention the Facebook group. You're a member of A Skyrim Addict podcast their Facebook page.
A Skyrim Addict podcast. Yes, I thought I was really late to the game of Skyrim. I just started not too long ago, probably, a year and a half after the game originally came out. And I was like, well, there's probably no one who gives a crap about this game anymore. But I just happened to search for Skyrim in the iPhone app, the podcast app on the iPhone, and up popped a Skyrim Addict podcast. And they was only on episode, I think, 2 or 3, maybe a couple more into that. But I, quickly picked up on the back episodes and then listened, dedicated listener every week. And Michael, the host, and he put the Facebook group together, and it's just a very lively group. It's not a ton of people involved yet, but it's a very dedicated and lively group, and I'm surprised that there's still people out there dedicated to playing this game very frequently and having a great time at it still.
I was looking. Major Nelson from Xbox will put out a list. Usually once a week. Sometimes it ends up twice a week, or every other week, or once a month, of the top 25 games played on the Xbox. And Skyrim is still in the top 20.
That's wonderful. I take comfort in that for some reason.
Oh yeah, even with all the Call of Duties out there, all the Halos going on Xbox Live, Skyrim is still within the top 20.
That just goes to show that you take the time and effort, and even though there's definite huge glaring flaws with the game, there's if you take the effort to build a huge, just very deep, all-encompassing world, that people will dive into that and live in that world and just try to explore every facet of everything. I still, when I play the game, I've been playing however long, and I still see things every day that I didn't see ever before. And I was like, wow, that would never happen in most games.
And Bethesda they did a great job creating a game that has so much replay value to it too.
I haven't even replayed it yet. And I guarantee you, I will replay it again and again after. I want to try to max out my first character. Michael did that as well with his first character, and he said it's kind of a grind and a haul to get there. But I am in the high 60s right now, and I think 80 or 81 is the top level that you can get, and you achieve that by honing different skills and magic skills, by smithing and archery, or one-handed or two-handed attack skills, or different magic skills like alteration, where you can make yourself invisible, or illusions, and all different kinds of things. So as you build up those skills, you build up your overall level. I'm sure people are familiar with how leveling games work. It's just so deep and all-encompassing, and it's really fun for me.
Well, Android, I won't keep you too much longer. I know you've got real-life things going on, so I'll turn you loose here in a minute. But
yeah, I'm sorry if I'm long-winded about it. What were your problems with the game? You said there's definite flaws with Skyrim. I'm interested to find out what what you liked and what you thought what needed help.
Well, I played. I started the game. I made a hybrid character. I carry a one-handed sword and was a caster with my left hand, and I mainly did destruction spells. And I wore heavy armor, and then I forget what mask it was I picked up. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, the mask gave you like 100% magicka regeneration. So I could shoot flames for days, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But
that sounds similar to how I started my character. Yeah, go ahead.
But the game played fine, played wonderful on the Xbox for a month or two, and then all of a sudden it wanted to freeze during the loading screen. And I said, that sucks. So tried it again. You'd walk a little bit, you'd see it start to glitch out, and then it freeze again.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I said, wow, I'm so close to I know I got to be close to getting finished. And then just so happens the other day I put the game back in, just took a shot in the dark, tried it, and it played fine, never skipped again, and I was able to complete the main story. But on the 360, I kind of feel like that cheated my experience with the game because at that point I wanted to finish the main storyline and not cut it off, and all the side quests I had I just kind of abandoned just to get the main story done.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that's a problem with the PlayStation.
I've had it freeze up 2 or 3 times only, which is very, very few times compared to how many times I've seen in other, discussion boards online. People, swear that the PS3 is horrible and, it freezes all the time. The game is so glitchy, but I actually haven't had many problems at all with my PlayStation 3. What might have something to do with that is I only have 2 save files. I have a current save file that I save to all the time, and then one that I back up to like maybe once a week or something like that.
Right.
But I don't have 40 save files going. Like a lot of people were saying that could have been the issue that
Right.
they were causing their crashing or whatever.
I think I had 3 that I just
Yeah.
kept saving over, and then I
Yeah.
deleted all those.
That shouldn't be that shouldn't have been an issue. That's crazy.
I honestly think a lot of
have you found that other other Xbox users have had more crashing issues like you? Because I've heard that PlayStation was more the problem platform.
I looked it up. I checked out a couple different forums, and it seems to just be a over both platforms. Some people were
Really?
just more fortunate than others, and
Yeah. Well, cross your fingers, jeez.
yeah, they it didn't seem like the game was picky on which one it wanted to glitch out on, but it seems that both consoles had if not the same kind of glitch, they had their own problems on each one. So
well, are you happy that you gave it a second shot, that you popped it back in and it worked? Did you have a good gameplay experience?
I couldn't be happier that I put it back in and it worked.
Great.
And when I completed the game, I was just standing there and I was like, well, what do I do now? I've got all these side quests I need to finish, but I kind of want to just start over and play it through again. And
now
that I kind of know what to expect, there's some different choices I want to make. And
there you go. No one's stopping you. Hop right back in.
Exactly. I want to make a different kind of character.
We try a different race. Yeah, there you go. Try a different character this time. See, because I bet you, I've only played my one character, but I bet you if I choose a different race, the different people will react to you because, in every town you go to in Skyrim, someone's race is towards one of the different races. So.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. You're just like, oh, those stupid Khajiit. You're like, whoa, buddy, where's that coming from? I didn't say anything about that.
But
so what were you upset with about the game? You said you had a couple complaints.
Let's see. My complaints with the game, it just seemed like
fetch missions.
Yeah, the fetch missions. There was one, I forget the name of the place, but you're underground. The zone you're in is really cool. What's the place with the big mushrooms and you're underground?
Oh God, they're all over the place. There could be any. There's hundreds of those.
Well, there's one you're collecting some kind of plants underground, some kind of root.
Glowing, or Nern root or something.
The ones that are singing, making the noise.
Yeah, Nern root.
I didn't find
they kind of hum a little bit.
Exactly. I was trying to find all those. I didn't find all those and got bored with looking for them.
Oh yeah, you have to find 20 of them or something. Yeah, they do have a couple of those where go and find me 20 of this rare plant, and you're just like, are you kidding me? I've been playing for hours and I've only found 2. I have to find 20? That's ridiculous.
And the puzzles got kind of tedious after a while, spinning all the pillars around, and I kind of feel like that was like a time filler to kind of slow you down, but I could have done without that being in there altogether.
Yeah, it took me a while to discover that the answer to the claw doors was on the claw.
I was on the claw? Exactly.
I am an idiot. It took me way too long to discover that.
I got to a point where any of those puzzles, I would just pause the game and then look up a YouTube video.
Them up. Yeah, no, that's probably smart.
I was like, I'm not going to spend my time figuring this out. Somebody just tell me how to do this so I can do it.
Yes, I'm not opposed to that. Some people might scoff, but, screw those people.
But, as far as the in-game factions, I enjoyed going through all the factions. Thieves Guild, you got to be a certain type of character, I think, with a high sneaking level to get through it.
Yeah, it's best to save that one for when your sneaking is a little better. That's true.
But Dark Brotherhood, I I don't know. There was one I took I got my first contracts through them, and one of my contracts was this guy named Nelfy,
Yes, I believe I remember that.
and
Yeah.
I forget which town he was in, but he was a guy that I had helped
Oh
previously.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd helped him previously, and I go up to him, he was the first contract I went after. And
He's
once
like,
I saw
"Hello, friend."
yes, and once I saw who it was, I was like, oh no. And he
Oh
was like, thanks
no.
for helping Nelfy. And I was like, oh no. And then like I hit him one time with my sword, and he was like, why? Why
What
are
are
you
you
doing that?
doing?
And I was like, oh no.
I
So
heed.
I couldn't after I killed him, and then I couldn't finish any of the other contracts. So I was like, I can't do the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, some of those were just a little stomach turner. You're like, really? What? You don't even explain why I have to kill this person. You just say, if they did something that deserves it, then maybe I could consider it. But just because you say so, just because you're giving me money, this feels really dirty.
Exactly. Plus your wanted level starts going up, and
Yeah, you start getting fines or bounties in all the different towns.
so I did that one contract, and that was all I could do with them. If I make a more vile character next time, then
Yeah.
maybe I'll go through it, and maybe Parthenax will bite the dust next time. So
You're gonna smoke Parthenax this time. Yeah.
that's right. Well, all right, guy. Have you got anything else with Skyrim you want to share with everybody?
Um, I don't know. We just had a brief discussion about soul gems on the Facebook page this evening. I thought that was a really neat conversation that you had actually played through the game without enchanting any armor or weapons or anything. That's one of my favorite parts of the game is collecting. When you defeat an opponent, you can collect their soul in a gem, and then you collect these gems, and you can make enchantments on your armor to make it lighter, or to make it muffled so you don't make any noise, or to make it super strong, or to make it be able to carry more weight, or you can enchant your weapons to trap souls into those gems that you've collected, or to absorb health off of someone else's character and put it into your life meter, or just to enhance your magic or your ability to make potions and stuff. So I enjoyed doing that part of the game, and I just thought it was crazy that you would actually play through the game without doing much of the soul gem aspect. Or you said you just messed around with smithing just a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. I was just banging out
What?
iron just to turn around and sell it because none of the stuff I was making was any better than what I already had on. So I just resold everything.
Yeah. So did you use the weapons that you would like find out in battle
Yeah,
more so?
I
Yeah.
used the Dawnbreaker for a while, and I used a sword called
Oh,
Chillwind.
Dawnbreaker. I like the Dawnbreaker. Yeah, the Children too. Yeah.
I
I,
used,
I would put one of those in each hand and run around.
and then I kept the bow from the Nightingales. I used it,
Oh yeah, the Nightingale bow's very nice.
and that was just anything I picked up usually is what I ended up wearing or using. So anything I was blacksmithing ended up getting sold. Potions, if they weren't health or magica potions, they got sold.
Yeah, exactly. I only hang on to the health ones. I barely even hang on to the magical potions anymore.
The enchanting I was taking disenchanting stuff to learn
Hmm.
the enchanting
Yeah, so
recipe,
you knew all the enchantments, you just
but
didn't
I didn't do
do the
anything with them.
enchanting. You just didn't do with them. Yeah, that's funny. No, but I enjoy that aspect of the game too. Making just you can smith a good weapon and then enchant it with some magic and just make it more powerful. And as you play the game, your skill level goes up and you can just create more and more powerful weapons. And it's a I don't know, it's a good investment of just sort of creating what sort of armor your character can wear and give them their own design. And I've actually only done the heavy side of the armor. I haven't done any of the light side of the armor. I want to go back and
Oh,
make
me
some
either.
glass armor. I think that looks pretty cool
Oh
with
yeah.
the stuff that I found.
There's a
Plus,
couple.
if you want to level up all the way, you have to level up your light armor skill as well. So eventually, I will have to create some light armor if I want to level up all the way. But I think the glass looks pretty cool, so I might do that.
The biggest thing from I take away from Skyrim that I enjoyed was on a game like World of Warcraft, you basically choose at the beginning what kind of character you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be a hunter? Do you want to be a warrior? And then that's you for the rest of the game.
Yeah, there's no developing or evolving a character after that point.
Exactly. All your skills after that are preset for a hunter, preset for a warrior. On Skyrim, on the other hand, I started out as, a Nord male is what I started out with. That happened to be a Dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it is kind of up to you. What kind of armor do you want to wear? Well, do you want to be more proficient with a bow? Do you want to carry a shield? Do you want to use magic? You don't have to if you don't want to. It's the game,
Yeah.
is complete, and you can change your mind halfway through if you want to and pursue a different path. It's
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, different races when you start out, they have slightly different skill levels. Like different. I think maybe some of the elves are um, more have more magic or something like that. Yeah, the different races have, they start out with different skill levels, but after you get into the game, you just progress. You can totally choose what skills you actually want to be proficient in and just concentrate on those. And that is great that you can it's a choose your own adventure type game. You can kind of
Exactly.
develop your character into how you want it to turn out.
Well, Android, thanks for being with me today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. I hope I was helpful enough on the co-hosting duties for
Oh
this
yeah,
week.
yeah, you were. Yeah, like I said, Dark Legend was out this week, and you filled in just fine. And people can find you at the A Skyrim Addict podcast on the Facebook page. I'll put a
Yep,
link to it in the show notes on our website.
that'd be great. My little icon has actually I'm wearing a banded iron Skyrim Dovahkiin helmet from my Halloween costume that I made this year.
That was really cool, by the way. Well, thank you for being with me today. I appreciate it so much.
No, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, I'll have the interview with Michael David from a Skyrim Addict podcast.
A very solid guy.
Hello, everybody. This is Hesser, and I'm here with Michael David today of the Skyrim Addict podcast. Michael, how you doing?
Doing good. How's it going?
Pretty good. So, Michael, I found your show on iTunes. I happened to be scrolling through one day, playing Skyrim. I was thinking, I wonder if there's any just Skyrim podcasts.
Yeah.
And I stumbled upon across your show, and I think it was episode 2 or 3. You weren't very far in at the time, but I was listening to you, as you were playing through, and I was like, well, this is, exactly what I was looking for. I'm looking for somebody else that's just playing the game and was talking about their experiences with it. And it worked out that you were getting close to being, I think at the time you were a little bit farther than I was, but you were about to restart with a new character.
Mm.
How many times, Michael, have you played through Skyrim?
Well, main quest, I believe is 3 times. I believe it's 3 times for the main quest. Other ones I've done a bunch more. The past 2 characters, I haven't even played the main quest at all. So I've done about 5, maybe 6 characters at this point. I've had the game since launch day.
And you've done different race class combinations?
Yeah, each time I've done a different one. I think I started Nord. I did an Argonian, Khajiit. I have a Dark Elf right now. I may have done an Imperial at one point. There may have been another one in there, but I don't remember. At some point, it all blends together.
Which one's been your favorite so far? I know you played different, a class setup every time. I assume every time, but what's been your favorite setup in race so far?
I liked the Khajiit a lot. The one before that, what one was it? Was it the Khajiit that I liked? Yeah, the Khajiit I liked a lot because I played as strictly like a ranger, straight up with a bow and a lot of sneaking, and I really like playing that way. But right now, with the high elf, I've gotten into the magic, which I never really did, and I'm liking that a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, the magic seems, I started as I call it a hybrid character, where I carry a one-handed weapon and use the other hand for spells, and at first, the magic really, really seemed underpowered compared to everything else.
Oh, it definitely, it's much easier going through the game starting out with weapons than it is with magic.
I agree.
That is no doubt.
What do you think of the? So I assume you had Skyrim before the DLC came out.
Yeah, I've had it since launch day. So.
Did you wait in line for pre-order?
Amazon.
There you go. Did you get did you download the DLC as soon as it became available, or did you wait for a little while?
No, I got each of the DLCs as they came out. Hearthfire, then Dawnguard and Dragonborn, and actually I've just been playing with Hearthfire recently, like the past couple days again.
Building houses.
Yeah, starting to build my Lakeside Manor again. Hadn't done that in a while, so I was getting back into that again.
Yeah, I was wanting to play through the game one time just without the DLC, and then go back and check the DLC out. But it's a cool enough game that it seems like when I get done with it that I'm gonna want more to do in this world. Yeah,
Dragonborn adds a lot to the game. A lot. Like I like Dawnguard, definitely adds stuff to it, but Dragonborn just adds an immense amount to the game. It's unreal the amount of content it adds.
Well, during your playthroughs of Skyrim, what's a quest or location in the game that when you get to, you're happy to see again or do again?
Probably. Let's see. My favorite quest. I like the main quest, but I like the Mage's Guild, which of course glitched out on me this time as I'm a mage, and now I can't finish the quest. But I like the Mage's Guild because there's I like Labyrinthia a lot. That's a great quest area. So that's like of the 5 or whatever they are main quests. The guild quest and the dragon quest itself. I like the Mage's College the most, I think. But of course now I'm playing as a mage, and I only got to Sarthal, and then it glitched out.
Well, you did something. Listening to your show, you started playing without starting the main quest.
Yeah, I haven't played the main quest in the last 2 characters at all.
Which I found that really interesting, because that just kept the dragons out of the game completely.
Yeah, it's completely different. Yeah, there's no dragons at all in my game. Actually, there is a dragon. If you do, I encountered a dragon somewhere, but it's part of a story. That's why I think it might have been Dawnguard. Even you eventually come across some dragons in that, and they're still in there, even though they're not in the main quest, or you're not playing the main quest itself. This being my first playthrough, I'd never even considered that you could play the game without accepting the main quest. That could really change things for a second playthrough. Oh, it's way different. And also time-wise, I only have so much time to play during the week, and battling dragons is a time suck. So
yes,
yeah, you're walking down the road and then there's a dragon, and then you're walking down the road and then there's 2 dragons. And so you can't really get anywhere sometimes if you want to do other things.
Exactly. We just want to travel and you have to stop.
Yeah, and I'm a gatherer for sure. I'm picking every flower and mushroom and whatever else is along the way.
Yeah, I learned a lot from your podcast where you're talking about the blacksmithing, alchemy, and enchanting. I picked up a lot from your podcast, learning mostly about the enchanting and alchemy. Those are 2 things that, being a hybrid character that is always trying to find a new enchant for my armor or weapons to bump my magic spells up, or my one-handed weapons, anything I could do to bring using only a one-handed weapon, anything I could do to bring that skill up a little.
Get them stronger, yeah.
Get them stronger, exactly.
Yeah, for me, I love the alchemy, but previous to this character, I would always make all these great potions and then forget to use them. So I'd always have 500 potions in my inventory or whatever. And I would always, and then when I'd be done a battle, I'd be like, oh, you know what, I should have used. So I've been concentrating more on actually using the ones I make this time, whereas before I was just kind of using them as, to make money off of or whatever and build up the skill.
When I started the Mage's College quest, I've got a barrel full of potions I had to unload, and they're still sitting there, so I need to go and collect them and at least sell them to make some money. I got all the health and magica potions out of it that I would use, and everything else is just kind of sitting there. So, and it was so much that I become over encumbered if I tried to carry them all. So I just offloaded them into a barrel, and they've been sitting there ever since.
Yeah, at some point you just have too many. I'm at that point now, but I've been winnowing them down a little bit because the potions I make are strong enough where I don't really need to, I don't need 15 minor health potions when I can make one that gives me 150 points of health.
Exactly.
So it's I become over encumbered a lot because I just carry a lot of crap that I don't really need.
Are you? What are some places in Skyrim or quests do you do that when you get to them, you're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do this again, or I don't really like this area.
You know, I don't love, and this is because they have nothing that I want, any of the Forsworn areas.
Yes.
They don't have anything. You can't loot them because they don't really have anything. The only thing you're getting is like a Briarheart and a few things here and there. But once you're higher level, they don't have any gear you want. They don't carry a lot of money. But they're really hard to battle, so they're not really worth it in the end.
Right.
So any Forsworn areas, I'm kind of like, oh, come on. These guys again. But, yeah. Oh, another favorite area, thinking of least favorite, but another favorite area is Blackreach, of course, because of the just the look of it. Have you gotten to Blackreach yet?
Is that the one that's underground?
Yeah.
Big mushrooms?
Giant chandelier in the center?
Yes. I've been there. That was nice.
Have you shouted at the chandelier?
No.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Fusro Da shout, that one.
All right. If you could, with it being the 2-year anniversary of Skyrim, what advice could you give to somebody that's just starting their first playthrough now?
If you're going to play it the first time, definitely go main quest first, because that is a great quest, and it gives you like the basis for the whole game, really. Then, obviously, you can pick or choose whether you go companions or thieves, or depending on how you're playing your character, if you go Dark Brotherhood or whatever. If you're going to pick up the DLC first, I would say get Dragonborn first, even though it's the most expansive, and the other ones will seem small compared to it. But it carries on the dragon story. So if that's what you're looking for in like first playthrough, that's the way I would go.
And you're playing on the 360, correct?
Yeah, I play on the 360. Although recently I've been debating playing on a PC.
With all the mods?
Yeah, because of the mods. I mean, I've been playing it for 2 years now, so I'm a little jealous of the people who play with mods. But I've never really played. I haven't done any PC gaming since like Civilization 2 or like King's Quest 5 or something. So
I was looking on Major Nelson put up a post on his blog where he'll show the top 25 games on Xbox Live, and even 2 years in now, it's Skyrim is still, I think it was number 12.
Wow.
12th place yesterday when I looked at it. It's falling behind the Call of Duties, and
yeah.
Now that Grand Theft Auto 5 is out, that was number 1. But it's cool, to see a 2-year-old game still be in the top 25 as one of the most played games on Xbox.
Yeah, that's unreal. I mean, you're talking 2 years down the road. That's like really unusual for games now. I mean, I put it in on 11/11/11, and it actually did not leave the 360 until over a year later. I never opened the compartment to put in another game till over a year later.
Well, what other games do you play?
Recently, let's see. I've played most of the Assassin's Creed titles, but the last one I didn't really like that much. I don't know if it was the setting or whatever, the Revolutionary War type setting.
Right.
I just didn't. I don't know why. It just didn't appeal to me. I used to play the Hitmans a lot. I still have that. I actually still have the latest one sitting there. I haven't really gotten that deep into it. And I used to like the Fable series until the third one came out.
Really?
I enjoyed the third one a little bit, but it's not replayable that much.
When you get to the end, once you get to the end and you know what you have to do, or what you should have done during the game.
I like that concept. I like that it's a gray finish. There's no, oh, you did it all right, you did it all wrong. There's consequences either way.
Right.
But I don't know. It just didn't have the same feel as the second one. I thought was fantastic. The second Fable was just great for me. But the third one, I don't know. It just something didn't fit right for me. It didn't work for me for some reason. I mean, I played it all the way through, obviously. But I think Skyrim came out pretty quickly after that, or within that year, maybe. So
right.
It may have been why I had moved on from it and never went back.
Yeah, Fable 3 was a free game with the Games with Gold program on Xbox Live. I think last month.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Last month. Yeah. I picked it up and I did a review for it on our site, and that's the first Fable game that I've ever played.
Oh, okay. See, I played the first two when they came out, and I loved them. I thought they were great, those first two. I kind of like that, what is it, like that Middle-earth feel or whatever you would call Skyrim and Fable and that, that kind of world, rather than the more realistic ones these days. I don't know why, but just my game playing, that's where it's gone in recent years.
Are you a big fan of the Elder Scrolls series, or just Skyrim in particular?
I started playing Oblivion. I probably played as much as Skyrim, so that's where I started out, was Oblivion. I hadn't played any before that. Previous to that, I was mostly playing. What was before Oblivion? Probably a lot of What the heck was that then? That was a while ago, Oblivion. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think we were playing mostly like a lot of MLB, whatever year that happened to be, and things like that. With people over. It was more multiple people playing at once type of games, things like that. Not adventure gaming.
What do you think of Elder Scrolls Online? Does that look like something you check out?
Yeah, you know what? I liked it. Especially since it's on the console. If it was on the PC, Mac, I probably wouldn't, just because I don't game on those.
Right.
And it wouldn't be worth it. $15 a month wouldn't be worth it to me. But I am interested now that it's on the console. And they're selling me on the single player aspects of it, So the more I see about the single player part of it, the happier I am, because that's just how I generally play, because I don't necessarily have time to schedule to sit down and play with, get 5 people together or whatever. It just, unfortunately, isn't something that fits into my schedule.
The Skyrim was my first step into this universe, and I'd had the game since February of this year, unopened. So
Oh, wow.
I knew what a time suck it was going to be, and
Oh, it is.
but I wanted to be able to sit down and play through it, and enjoy it. So I started it about 2 months ago. Once I started, went in blind, didn't know anything about the game. Now with Elder Scrolls Online coming out, this universe seems like something I want to learn more about and be explore, at least explore more into.
Yeah, definitely. I've really liked hearing more how they develop the lore and all that kind of stuff, and how all the continuity between the titles and things like that. It's pretty amazing the amount of work they put into their games.
Well, Michael, we're going to get ready to wrap up here, but before we do, let's talk about your podcast for a minute. What made you decide to start a Skyrim podcast?
The one I'd listened to one called Thuumcast a lot. I enjoyed that one. They didn't put out a lot of episodes, but that one had ended. I think there was one other one I was listening to. I can't remember offhand. And I was like, I didn't really have time to put anything serious together, so I was like, let me just throw something up on talking. I had taken a break from Skyrim for a while just because I was busy. I wasn't really gaming or doing any kind of gaming at all.
Right.
And when I had a few minutes, I was kind of taking it on again. I was like, let me just throw up a quick podcast about it. It doesn't really take me that long to do it. So pretty much what you hear is what it takes. So 20 minutes or every other week or every 2 weeks or whenever I get the chance is, maybe 25 tops. I can handle that. So that's kind of how it came about. I was just like, let me throw it up, see what happens.
And you find it's been received pretty well?
Yeah, surprisingly, actually. I was like, it's been out for like 2 years. I didn't really expect, I was like, well, maybe I'll have like 10 people listen at this point, So, really anybody that listens, is like a bonus to me at this point. And, we've had a pretty good Facebook group going. Not a lot of people, but we, actually have some pretty good discussions and long discussions about stuff, which is pretty cool. And oddly, I found out that one of the first people who emailed me actually lives like 20 minets away.
Oh, really?
Which is odd enough. Which is pretty odd, yeah.
That's cool. How can people get a hold of you?
Let's see. I'm at I don't know the web address for Skyrim Addict Podcast, but you can email me at a Skyrim Addict Podcast at gmail.com. But I'm on Twitter. I'm RENMIKED. I don't talk a lot about Skyrim on there. And the Facebook group though is a Skyrim Addict Podcast, and that's in the Facebook groups. It's an open group. Or I'm also on Chatterbox Podcast, which is just a general interest kind of podcast.
All right. Well, Michael David from Skyrim Addict Podcast, I appreciate your time today.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And good luck with the show.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, and we are back. And that was Michael David from the A Skyrim Addict podcast. Michael's a really cool dude, and I'm glad he could be on with me to do that interview. Michael is the authority when it comes to Skyrim knowledge. And again, Michael, if you're listening, I really appreciate you doing that for me. Now let's jump into the news. Xbox One. Xbox announced on day one there will be an update. You're going to take it out of the box, have to plug it in and update it, well, almost immediately. Well, that's fine. I mean, there's games now that have day one updates, so why not a console? And if you bunch of babies wouldn't have been crying over all the changes you wanted Microsoft to make, then maybe it wouldn't have been necessary. But if I was to have one on day one, I really don't I don't see it being a problem having to update it. But PlayStation also announced that there would be an update for the PlayStation 4 as well, so it's not something that's just Microsoft specific. Call of Duty Ghost came out, and Activision announced that Ghost sold made $1 billion on day one. I guess they were trying to shove it in Grand Theft Auto's face that we made $1 billion on day one. But from what I understand, they didn't sell as many copies of Ghost as Treyarch did with Black Ops 2. So I'm not sure the official numbers for day one release of Black Ops 2, but from what I've heard, Ghost didn't sell quite as much. But you figure there's got to be a lot of people holding out for the copies for the new consoles. So give it till Black Friday, till Christmas, and Ghost numbers will probably be going through the roof. If you're playing Ghost, feel free to email me at hesser@9nights.net and let me know what you think about it. I'm curious to know. I'm a hardcore Call of Duty fan. It's just $60, kind of out of my price point right now. So if you're playing it, let me know what you think. If you play Black Ops 2, let me know what you think of Ghost compared to Black Ops 2. And we'll read your email on the show. We're going to wrap things up. Without Dark Legend being here, I'm going to keep the rest of the show kind of short. You can find us, our website, 9 Nights, the 9 Nights, at 9nights.net. There's several ways to contact us. I am Hesser, and you can get a hold of me at hesser@9nights.net. Or if you got an email to send into the podcast, we'll read it on the show, podcast@9nights.net. And the legend, he'll be back next week. You can find him at darklegend@9nights.net. We're on Facebook. There's a link to our Facebook page on our website. We're on Google+, and we're on YouTube. I'm Hesser Almighty on Xbox Live. And the legend is Dark Legend with 2 Ks, DARKK Legend, on PlayStation Network. We're currently having a contest. We're giving away a year of Xbox Live or a year of PlayStation Plus. Entering the contest is easy. Under the Support Us tab on our website, you'll see a link to our Amazon page. By clicking that link and using it to do your shopping, we'll receive a small kickback from Amazon, and that money will go to further contests or stuff to help us out with our show. You can also enter by retweeting one of our official tweets on Twitter or sharing one of our Facebook posts. Each one of those counts as an entry, and every $5 increment you spend on Amazon, every $5 increment will count as one entry. Also, feel free to add us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes to get your podcast every week. And the Knightcast is also on Stitcher now. So if you use Stitcher, we're available on there. On iTunes, Stitcher, either one you use to find the show, feel free to leave us a 5-star review. That would be great. Or leave us just a written review, period, and we'll read it on the show. So that's all I've got for this week. Oh, one more note. We have a member on the site, Lonely Controller. Lonely Controller, if you're listening, he's made several purchases through Amazon, been retweeting us and sharing our posts on Facebook. And I just wanted to say thank you, buddy. Thanks for doing that for us. You're helping to get the show out there and get the website out there and helping us back future contests. So I just want to say thank you from me and the Dark Legend. So that's all I got for this week. Legend will be back with me next week. Special thanks to Michael David for helping me out with the interview today. You can find him, his podcast, A Skyrim Addict podcast, also on iTunes or on Stitcher. That's all I got for this week. I'll see you guys next week.